Hello, my name is Jasmine. I just started my own YouTube channel. I'm really excited. I'm doing anything involving the beauty realm, and for my first video I'm going to be doing my everyday look. And honestly, I'm just gonna be downright honest and the products that I use and everything. It's really cheap. Some of the products may not be as affordable for some. I'll get right into it. Okay, so for starters, I always use primer. I'm using the sample Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, foundation primer. Yeah, I know, times are tough, so yeah. This is what I've been using. It's been holding me up this far, though. All right, so I just get some on my finger, boop, and I just rub it in my cheeks, my chin, my nose, and my forehead. Make sure you get it all over. Make sure it's all rubbed out. Okay. Well, actually, let me tell you something. I don't like to waste my foundation, but here's the thing. I use Kat Von D normally. I used to be really light, and I am not this light anymore. I switched to drugstore again because, you know, I'm cheap. So this is what I've been using, but it goes on really greasy for me. So when I use this, it's actually really, it comes on really like wet, and I mean, it is dewy smooth. So, and I'm like, I have normally oily skin. So yeah, this is what works for me. This is what I do. It's really light, it lightens my face. So I use this as concealer. I normally would put my foundation first and then my concealer, but for some reason when I was doing that with this and I was using this as concealer, it was not coming out good. It just looked really bad, and I was like, oh God. So I found out that I just put this on first. So that's what I'm gonna do. Usually I use my fingers a lot, and I always keep a cloth with me so I could wipe my hands. So I just put some on my finger, and I just go in and I put little dabs here, and I basically do like a triangle kind of thing, but mostly to cover the red. So I get my forehead as well, and along with my nose, just do a line straight down, just whatever's kind of left over on my finger. Okay, so yeah, I look really white. I know I do. This is what I do. After I do my concealer, I go in with my beauty sponge. I literally bought this at Jewelry Box for like $2. Really cheap. I go really cheap, guys. Like, I buy the most cheapest thing and I try to make it work. So I go in and I just blend it out. I dab. You know, I'm a dabber. Okay, that came out weird. Let's blend. Let's just use the word blend. God. Oh God. Oh God. I just blend everything out. Blend it all out. All right, so when I blend it, I normally don't, I'm not like trying to like cover my entire face with it. I just do like my cheeks, my chin, my nose, and like my forehead. I don't do my entire forehead. I just do like the center mostly, and in between my brows. Okay, so next, I'm using my actual foundation. So for this, I shake it really well. I'm not sure if it says to do that, but I do it because it makes me feel better about my life. Use my finger again. And I just get some on my finger, about that much. And I just go in and I start like rubbing it. I basically do this all over my face. So I'm a little nervous. So I go back in with my sponge and then I blend it into my neck as well, cause double chin. I always blend it into my neck because you don't want that obvious line. Okay, so once it's all blended out and it is to where you like it, this is basically just the foundation and concealer. This is how it looks. And now for the next part. Bronzer. So this is a bronzer stick I use. It's Wet n Wild Makeup Contour Stick. Now I go in with my bronzer. Go from here to my temple, right there. do it the same on the other side. And I do it on my forehead, like so. And then you do your nose. Honestly, it's your preference on how thin you want your nose to look. I like mine to look a little wide. So this is how wide I do it. Do the little sides of my nose, like so. And then I go under here by my jawline. Okay, and once I do that, blend it out. So when I blend it out, I usually do kind of like an upward motion. And then when I get closer to my temple and like my hairline, I usually do it towards my hairline. And then I blend it more outward towards my, this way. I can't think of the word. This way. Walk this way. Talk this way. Okay, and then you go and do the same thing on the other side. Sorry if the lighting is kind of awkward sometimes. I'm still getting used to doing this, so bear with me. Okay, now sometimes with this stick, you kind of have to pack it on a little bit. Usually, if I want to darken my contour, I usually go to my e.l.f. bronzer and highlighter, or contouring blush and bronzing powder. This is what I use. As you can tell, it's already almost gone. I hit pan with it a long time ago. Now this was like $3, I think, at the time that I got it. I think it was like $3. So I just go in with a brush like this. I'm basically just going back in and darkening everything. Okay, so what I do next now.
Sorry, my chair is really squeaky. It's an old chair.
But okay, so once I do this, once my base is done, this is my base, it's all done. I go in with my brows. Now this stuff I got a long time ago. Now this is definitely a little more pricier. But before this, I was actually using eyeshadow for my brows. But it did suck because it came off super, super easy. I did not like that. I switched to
Anastasia Beverly Hills dipbrow in the color of ebony.
Okay, that was really dumb. Sorry. I use a brush like this. This is what I use for my brows. So I just go in. Now, seriously, if you cannot afford this, I'm not even kidding you. If you just find an eyeshadow that is close to your eyebrow color, it works. It works. I start off with the outside first. So I'll go here. I'll show you. So just like that. So I could start my shape. I could, build off of it. Then I go on the bottom to kind of meet that, like that. And then I start to fill it in. I usually like to mine look a little more natural. And I just go and I fill it in. And I use very soft, strokes. So I usually just kind of follow that line underneath for me. And I usually use really light strokes. Is that the right word? I'm kind of brain farting right now. It's because I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I go and I do this. Yes. When I get closer to the middle, or the front of the brow, I go in and I go do little upward motions like this. Very light, very, very light. And that's what the first brow looks like. I don't know if you can see the difference in between no brow, brow. All right, so now I go in with the other side and I do the same thing. Okay, so this is what they normally look like without, cleaning them up. That's what I'm gonna move on to next. I use a brush like this. Like so. Just kidding. I use a brush, this kind of brush, and I go in with concealer. Now, it really doesn't matter what kind of concealer you use. is just as long as it's concealer and that it works for you. Sometimes I would even use foundation just to go underneath, but right now I'm using a MAC concealer. This is what I use for underneath my brows to clean them up. Got a little bit on the brush, as you can see, and then I go under. So I'm just going underneath to clean it up, going right underneath my brow. And then I blend it kind of downward a little bit so it's not such a harsh line. I'm sorry if the lighting is kind of throwing it off a little bit. But yes, just like that. This is what I normally do. And then what's kind of left over a little bit, I go right here on the side and I just press down to kind of lighten the side. Just kind of sharpen the edge, the outer, whatever. The end of the brow. Let's go with that. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can tell it's cleaned up or not. I feel clean, so it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
She's fresh, so fresh. She's so fresh.
Once I do my brows, I go in and I put primer on my eyes. Now, it's an actual eye primer that I use. You guys, honestly, when I first started out, I actually didn't even use primer. I just went on with it. And it works fine, but the look usually doesn't last as long, so I use the MAC eye primer. It's like the clear color. I put a little bit on my finger, like that much, and then I just go and I rub it on my eyes. This is when I decide what eyeshadow I'm gonna use. I almost always just end up doing like just one color, one simple color. I usually go in with my Carli Babel Deluxe palette. Now this is actually inexpensive for a palette, and for the quality of the palette, it's actually a really good palette. I love this palette. Carli Babel's awesome. She's great. I love her. So this is what I normally use. Now sometimes I will use this color, or this color. So my mood is feeling this color right now. So that's what I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna use one color. Sometimes I might mix it up with two, but I'm just gonna go in and use just one color. So this is the brush that I use. It's Walmart brand. I don't know if I said that earlier. All these brushes I use, they're all Walmart. I got them from Walmart. They're drugstore. I'm gonna go with this one. So kind of hit it, make sure I get all the little bit that's on it off, and then I go and I usually start off putting it on my eyelid, just kind of like dabbing it on there. I say that a lot, I'm sorry. It's just an easy way to describe it. So of course it's gonna look patchy at first, but then that's why I like using this brush, because then you just blend it out. Literally, this look does not take me long. If I'm taking my time, 30 minutes. Usually though, I can end up doing everything in like 15 minutes. It just depends on if I want to rush or not, or if I'm in a hurry or not. I usually start from the eyelid, from the eyeball basically, and then working my way outward using rainbow motions, if that makes sense. Just blending it out and making it look soft and not so harsh. Now, I don't know if you guys are like this, but there's some parts of my eyes for some reason that just pick up pigment a lot, and then it's like dark spot. Like this is my dark spot. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but it's always dark in that corner, and it's just like,
Quit, you know? Join the rest of your skin cells.
but yeah. Okay, and then I just do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so I got both eyes done. This is what it looks like. Eyes relaxed. Of course, when I do this, you can kind of see everything. Now, usually I'm not going to be like this all the time.
Like, hi guys. Hi, you know.
So, thankfully. Okay, once I finish my eyeshadow, I usually go in with my mascara and my eyeliner. Now, usually for my everyday look, I'm too lazy to do a top like wing liner. And plus then you have to make sure it's precise, and that just takes even way longer. So I end up just not doing that altogether, unless I'm like, you know, feeling glamorous that day. But usually I don't. Once again, sorry about my chair. That's really loud. Okay, so I normally use Maybelline GreatLashes. Like honestly, any of the green top, pink bottles, I use them. These are all, I love these. Now honestly, this is empty. It's empty. So I usually just use it once I put like my mascara on. I just go over it with this. It helps. So, but right now I'm using lots of lashes. This is what I'm using. So, swirl it in there.
Wingardium Leviosa.
We've been watching Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Harry Potter's great. Always. Sorry, that was really cheesy. Got your wand. Your wand. And you just go under. I usually go down and I blink, but I also like do like a zigzag kind of motion, like this. You'll coat all the lashes that way. Does anyone else make really weird faces when they're putting on mascara? So once I do that, I go in with the wand, the big wand. Now seriously, this is empty. There's nothing in it. I mean, of course, what's kind of like left over. But I just go over and I kind of just go over it basically. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is how it normally looks, honestly. These eyelashes. These eyelashes.
These eyelashes
Tend to go in a weird direction than these ones. I feel like these ones always come out better. Depending on my mood, if I'm feeling a little more bold, I go black, but I usually use brown. I bought this at Walmart for like 98 cents. So I go in with my brown eyeliner, and I just go on my waterline. Now, if you guys, you know, want to like pull your eye down, or your, you know, so you can like get on that waterline, don't touch your face. So instead of touching your face, go use your sponge. Don't use the clean side because you might just wipe it off because it's, you know, cheap product. But just use the side that's already got product on it and pull it down gently. Don't. Now I got this from Jeffree Star. He's awesome. Okay, so pull down gently like this, and then just go on my waterline. So this is what it looks like once it's done. My eyes, this is done. This is it for my eyes. And now I do my blush. This is when I do my blush. And I basically use the same brush that I used for my bronzer, I use for my blush. Now I'm using the e.l.f. palette again. Literally, it's this big thing. It comes with blushes and it comes with your eyeshadows. But yeah, so I usually use the blushes a lot. This one's my favorite. That's the one I'm gonna use. That's my go-to. So usually you need to put a lot on your brush in order for it to actually, like, you know, stay. I do circular motions or back and forth motions, but usually I try to go back and forth, but also with circular motions. All these motions.
Motions come motions run deep as oceans explode.
Sorry. Okay, just like that. Sorry, I keep looking at myself here and not here. I'm not looking at you guys, I'm looking at me. I'm so conceited, I'm sorry. After that, I do highlight. Usually, on an everyday look, I usually am not like the sun, but I'm like a little sun. If that makes sense. Okay, so I go back in and I use my Carli Babel palette because it comes in with highlighters. I love these. I usually use this gold one right here, this like goldish looking one. That's the one I usually use. I like it a lot, and I use a fan brush like this one. Really cheap. Honestly, my friend gave this to me. She's like, I don't use it anymore. So I was like, okay, I'll use it. Put some on the brush, and I go right on my cheek right there. Sorry again with the lighting. It kind of comes at weird spots when I turn. Now, once again, you guys don't have to use like this specific highlighter. You can use whatever works for you. Like, seriously, you don't have to use the exact same products, just use similar products. That's what I usually do. When I first started watching tutorials and stuff, that's what I did. I'm like, you know what? I got something similar to that, so let's try it. And then I go on my nose. I do this, the fan. I love putting highlighter on my nose. I just love the way it looks. I think it's so pretty. I'm like, hey girl, got a cute little shiny nose. You snatched. And I go on my nose, the actual line of my nose, right there. Very lightly go in, just very lightly, and slowly build, like so. Okay. Now that I've done that, I have a bunch of Q-tips. Where'd they go?
They disappeared. Oh my god, where did you? I'm panicking. What's happening?
Okay, found them. Okay, so I go and I honestly just lick it. And I clean up my lips. Okay, this is the lipstick I use. I don't think it's that old. It's Nude Nuance. Nude Nuance. It's Maybelline. This is what I use. Okay, and that is it. But yeah, so this is what my everyday look looks like. This is usually my everyday look. Ponytail and this. So yeah, this is it. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did sit through it all, I can't wait. I'm gonna be filming a lot more. If you guys have any ideas on like what looks you'd like to see or anything, totally let me know. I'm down to try anything. So yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. I had fun filming it, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video. So